Well, it's over. What a fun month it was. FIFA World Cup coming to America. We had 8 games here in Atlanta. It is officially Mercedes-Benz Stadium once again. The wrapping is coming down. Just a little bit left to take down there. And soon we're going to have American football back there played in the stadium. So yesterday, Spain topped Argentina 1-0 to win it all. So happy to have Maria Martin in here to talk through it all with us this morning. I mean, Spain was incredible all tournament. Yeah. They allowed 1 goal in 8 matches.
Yeah.
Fair to say the best team won yesterday.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, heading into it, I think Spain was always going to be the better team. It's just we've seen Argentina come back from essentially the dead in multiple matches. We saw it here in Atlanta Stadium. You can never really rule out Messi. And if you remember, they had some pretty good opportunities towards the end of that match as well in extra time. So, I thought that there was probably some scenario where there was a little bit of fairy dust on Argentina and they could have pulled it off, but Spain, no doubt the better team. And they've been fantastic all tournament, as you mentioned. Kind of an otherworldly defense that we saw from La Roja, and I think we're really fortunate to get both of these teams here in Atlanta Stadium. So if you were ever around the stadium during the time of the World Cup in our city, you were able to see both of these teams here.
To your point, Argentina seemed beatable all tournament, but they kept finding ways to win, oftentimes in the last minute. And then yesterday in the last minute, they get this red card.
Yeah.
Was that the nail in the coffin for them?
Probably. I mean, you felt like, especially leading up to this tournament, their luck was going to run out at some point. I thought that was going to be the case after the Egypt match. I said, okay, they've looked beatable from the very beginning. They've had to do things against even Cabo Verde that made you scratch your head and say this team is not as good as maybe some people would have anticipated. But when you do have a guy like Lionel Messi, the greatest player of all time, that can create chances and opportunities at any given moment in a match, you can never, ever rule them out. And truly, Dan, I believe that their supporters made such a big difference in a lot of these matches. However, in the final, they didn't have that. There were a lot more Spain fans than we have seen in opposing teams and other sides, and they've been incredibly disruptive. I was there in Atlanta Stadium whenever the Egypt match happened, as well as the England match. And I truly believe the supporters made a difference. They got into the heads of other people. And this Argentine team was very controversial the whole way because they were antagonists for a lot of the matches. And you even saw that yesterday. But
it got
Spain,
physical.
It did. And that's what you want out of a final. That's what you anticipate for 2 of the best teams in the tournament. I'm sure we could argue that there were better teams in Argentina, but they did play their way into the final. And it was an electric final. It was 0-0 at halftime, and I saw a lot of people saying this is incredibly boring, but I just knew it was going to be something to remember in the end, and it definitely was.
All right, you think we'll see Messi again in 4 years, or is he done?
I don't. I think he's done, and I think his body language after really said all you need to know. He sits on the pitch for a long time, kind of looks into the distance, very poetic, very poignant moment, and then the tears just started flowing. And that doesn't come from a player who thinks there might be a chance. This isn't a Tom Brady where I'm retiring, I'm not retiring, I'm having a midlife crisis, whatever's going on with Tom Brady. That's not happening for Lionel Messi. I think he really allowed himself to feel all of the things after a tremendous career. I mean, I think he's going to go down as the greatest player of all time. This truly is the end of an era in soccer. And I think that's the most emotional thing for fans, even new ones who have adopted this brand new love for soccer. You're seeing this turning of the page with Cristiano Ronaldo having his last World Cup, Lionel Messi perhaps having his last World Cup, Neymar having his last World Cup. Now you're seeing these younger big stars. You have Mbappe, who will be one of the next big stars. You have Erling Haaland, who's now like a household name in America, apparently. You have him, and you have hopefully some American men who can step up as they continue to get better. But yeah, it's a weird time in soccer. People are getting to see the stars here in our country for one last time, which I think is really awesome. But no, I think this is it for Lionel.
You'll probably see him on the broadcast in 4 years from now. I'm sure Fox is already reaching out.
Well, you'll see. I actually don't think that media is in his future.
Really?
I think he's too big of a superstar to do any of that stuff. I think it kind of dwindles his light a little bit if he goes back and does media. Stars of his magnitude, it's so hard to describe. I'm around professional athletes all the time. I'm around the most famous of the most famous in our country. But when you get a global superstar, it's very interesting. Like, it is a different phenomenon. I've never been around the intrigue that is Lionel Messi before. I'll give you a perfect example. I posted the video that I took of his goal. It's now going to be one of the most famous goals of all time in a World Cup, where he didn't score it, he assisted against England, and it was essentially what saved Argentina and put them in the final. And I posted my angle of it. On Facebook, just started posting on my work Facebook again, so I'm back from the dead. And I had 4,000 followers before posting that. I have 70,000 followers on Facebook now.
Come again. 4,000 to
I'm
70,000
not kidding.
off one video.
One video.
Can you tag me in it next
And
time?
I have, yeah, for sure. And I also have calls
Wow.
from all over the world happening to my Facebook. Didn't know that existed. I have people wanting to know if I've ever been in the same room as Messi. I have people wanting to know what he looks like in real life. And I mean, it's really phenomenal.
That's
you
crazy.
don't, and I've been to Super Bowls, I've been to national championships, and I post videos all the time. It's literally what I do. Obviously not on my work Facebook, which now has changed. But the numbers are astonishing. I have over 70 million views on Instagram for this video. Dan, it's so different than
Wow.
anything else that we do.
I'm so happy for my hometown of Chattanooga that hosted
Yes.
Spain. That was their training ground leading up to this tournament. And I
Yeah.
wonder what that's going to do for the city. Because you talk about just how big of a superstar he is and what kind of following this team has. Well, they've now won the World Cup. So is Chattanooga going to kind of become this mecca for Spaniards to come see where the team trained?
You never know. I mean, truly, look at what's happened. I used the Erling Haaland example a little bit ago, but look what's happened to him and the intrigue around him. And I think America has a large part to do with that and just our presence on social media. But these guys are global. It's very different than dealing with an NFL player. It's very different, even though the NBA is pretty global and the NFL is trying to trend in that direction. I think soccer, and I've learned this now over the summer, its impact is so much more far-reaching than anything that we cover here in the States. And not that we don't cover soccer in the States. And you mentioned, what are we going to see Messi in? He's in Miami. He's in Inter Miami. He's contracted through, I believe, 2028. So we will see him at the MLS level. But it's different with the national team level. And the emotions clearly from Messi indicate that. So, yeah, I mean, it's bizarre how famous these people are. I mean, you don't really truly understand the breadth of it until I give you the numbers from my Facebook following.
Incredible. So how do we build on this moment as a nation when it comes to building the sport of soccer in America? I mean, we've been saying for like 40 years, soccer's the next greatest sport in America. Do you think this is it?
I think this will help. This definitely helps. You know, we see this big boom in a lot of Olympic sports after the Olympics rolls through and people get very excited because they're watching it on television every day. I think it is different when the actual event is on your soil, when you're getting to experience it, even if you don't go into the stadium. So you're at a bar nearby or you went to Fan Festival, you have a different kind of connection with that event now. Now, when the Olympics comes here in 2028 and it's in Los Angeles, maybe there's more intrigue around, let's say, tennis and grow that sport. But still, soccer is the biggest global sport. So all around the world, I mean, you have people from every single corner of the globe that play this game from the time that they're small. The same can't be said of American football, obviously. The same can't even be said of baseball, which is also very global. You see baseball even in Asia, and now it's becoming just this monster thing. But I think having it here is going to change the trajectory of the sport forever. And I think there is a new love and appreciation for soccer in a way that we wouldn't have gotten had it not been here. Look at the numbers. It's the most attended World Cup in its history.
Yeah.
And again, this is the biggest sporting event on the planet. But the fact that it was in America and it was so wildly successful, FIFA should be very grateful, and I hope they come back in 2038.
You know, 30 years ago this week, the Olympics were here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And we're still talking about it.
No doubt.
You think we're still going to be talking about this as a city years from now?
Oh, without a question in my mind.
What are we going to be saying?
That this was the greatest sporting event we could have ever hosted, and we did it so well. I mean, I'm so proud of this city. We were so candid. I'm not going to say we, but I was so candid about my, let's say, level of nerves in hosting the World Cup. Is our city going to be ready? Because I knew the magnitude of what this is. And are we going to be ready with transportation, with, I don't know, Fan Festival? I had all these questions, and we all did. I mean, we were still doing work on the highway 2 seconds before people came in for these matches. And look at how incredible it was. I mean, it was so successful from the beginning to the end. All the planning kind of coming together in one fell swoop was just so nice to see. And listening to people all over the world say, we got it wrong. You know, America's actually pretty great, and you guys are really nice and so hospitable, especially here in Atlanta. I mean, everywhere I walked, and I really threw myself into this, so much so that I marched with the Argentine fans to the stadium. I mean, I was underneath their flag, and I was one step from banging a drum, seriously. But it was really cool to be a part of an event like this and really throw yourself into it, because you're listening to people talk in a bunch of different languages, but have common ground for one thing, and that's the love of sport. And I think it was the coolest thing I've ever been a part of, truly. And so I'm very fortunate that it was here and that I got to cover it so closely, got to see all of these moments that I did. I'm so grateful. It was so much fun.
How much fun. Thanks for putting a bow on it for us,
Yeah,
Maria.
you're
You're off to
welcome.
cover football now, American football.
I know. Football all year long in different facets of it. I told you before this, I'm so happy that, it's such a busy time in our summer. It's the busiest summer I've ever had since I started doing this 12 years ago professionally. But I get dumped right into football season, American football season, and so I'm super grateful for that.
SEC Media Days kicking off right now, and Kirby Smart speaking tomorrow.
Yeah, and you know what's really great about Kirby Smart speaking is that there's not a lot of drama around him right now, which is good. I mean, there's a lot of conversation about the change of college football. He'll certainly get a lot of questions because he seems to be one of the more forward-facing coaches on the way that college football is changing.
Sure.
And so I think that one of the things about Kirby that's intriguing is he's the most tenured in the SEC now. You see so many new faces and so much rotation, and Kirby's kind of chilling, saying, I've won the most, I've been here the longest, but you can't just chill in the SEC ever. There is pressure for him to win again because it's been a minute.
Can't rest on your laurels. All right, Maria, great seeing you as always.
Great seeing you.